All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Paintin Corners. This is episode 13.4, season 13, episode 4. I'm here with my teammate from the LA Dodgers and Wiffle Mania MVP, Cody Pearson. Let's go. Congratulations, Cody.
Thank you.
So it was a fun tournament. Eagles end up coming out with the win in the championship game. Ryan Moser walk-off homer, but you got to see the mound a little bit in the tournament.
Yeah, I
so
did.
How was that?
It was pretty good for my first experience. Yeah, I did pretty good. Can't say I asked for much better, probably, because saying I hadn't pitched at all.
First win, too.
Yeah, first win
on the mound.
Yeah,
You
can't
and
complain.
I think it was you and my dad who had both their first win in the same doubleheader. Right?
Yeah,
It was
that
against
doubleheader.
the Thunder.
Yeah, the
right?
Thunder.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. We have a lot to talk about this week, and we haven't had a Paintin Corners in a minute because the off season has been pretty quiet, and then all of a sudden, in like a week span, we had some trades. We had a retirement that we have to talk about.
Right.
We had the end of the tournament. We announced tournament MVP yesterday or the day before, whatever it was.
And we've been busy.
With life. So there's been there's a lot to talk about though this week. What I want to do is have an episode every month for the off season, and then when the season comes around again, we'll do one episode a week. So here's the episode for the month of October, episode 13.4. One thing we have to talk about that I kind of want to jump right into is Eric Scully's retirement.
Yeah, crazy. I did not expect that. That came out of nowhere.
No. So for the people who are wondering, like, why the heck did he retire? He was offered a very good opportunity for what he wants to do down in Richmond, where he's going to school, and that would require him to stay there for the summer, so he wouldn't be able to play. And I talked to him, and he sees himself moving down there in the future.
That's what I heard. That's crazy.
Kind of hard to play wiffle ball in New Jersey when you're in Virginia. So
Virginia.
Congratulations to Eric.
Shout out.
Good for him. You got to play with Eric his last season.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even realize it at the time.
You didn't know at the time. Nobody knew at the time.
Yeah, played in the World Series with him.
Played in the World Series with Eric his last game. So how, obviously, I know it's kind of a weird question because you ended up getting traded back to the Dodgers and everything, but how was that experience for you getting to play with Yeager and Eric?
Yeah, that was really cool. Two legends of the game. Like, anytime Eric stepped up to play, you could just tell that they were pitching to him different. Like that, he was just that step above. And Yeager on the mound. Sometimes he had some rough patches, but he would always come in clutch at the end. Like it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it has to be fun playing with guys like that because like I've been playing for forever, and I never had the chance to play with either of them. I got to play with Tyler. I've gotten to play with Lawyer. I've gotten to play with a lot of great players. Got to play with John Bond.
Yeah,
never played with Eric or Yeager. Played against both of them in the World Series several times. I think I played against Eric in the World Series 3 times, Yeager 6 times.
6,
so
that's a lot.
It is a lot. So half the seasons in MLWB history
it's been you versus Yeager. That's crazy.
And there's never been a World Series without me or Yeager in it.
That's crazy.
One of us has always been in it, which is nuts. And then I remember Eric drafting Yeager in the draft, the first ever draft going into season 9. Yeager fell to pick 5 somehow.
Yeah, that's
and I remember saying it that night, and I know this is gonna sound like one of those fake LeBron but I remember saying it that night. I was like, if he falls to 5 and Yeager teams up with Eric, they are going to be in the World Series. And they ended up winning.
I just knew they were gonna drop. When he hit 70, I just knew.
I remember being like, how can he fall to the second?
That's just crazy.
8 picks, and he's the 5th pick. So I think that was crazy, and the rest is history. They end up winning the World Series that year. They end up going to the World Series 3 times together as teammates.
Now Yeager's the captain of that team.
Now Yeager's the captain, and I talked to him the night Eric retired. I was like, since you're the captain now, do you want to rebrand to like the Yankees? Because he used to have a Yankee fan for baseball, and he was like, no, I got to keep it. What would the league be without the MLWB?
Yeah, I think you had to.
Yeah, you kind of have to. That's a very interesting topic because Yeager is currently the only player on the Rays roster.
Yeah, he's got some work to do for sure.
Yeah, definitely some work to do. They end up getting the points back that they used to re-sign Yeager because he's now the captain. I did give them their points back.
That makes sense.
There's
They just traded for a pick, right?
They did trade for the 3rd overall pick. What are your thoughts on that pick? Who do you think? Obviously, it's hard to say who got the better end because the draft hasn't happened yet, but 50 free agent points to the Orioles for the 3rd overall pick. Is that a win for the Rays?
I think it is, depending on who they get. If they end up picking Cole, it's just like basically getting a slight discount on Cole through that draft pick. So I think so. I think it's a fair price.
Cole was like 70 points to re-sign.
Yeah.
And so if they end up trading for a pick for 50 points and drafting him, they basically re-sign for 50 points. So it's 20 points off.
Yeah. Can't complain about that.
No, not at all. And they have 3 draft picks. Out of 8 picks, 3 of them belong to the Rays. The 3rd, the 6th pick, and the 7th pick all belong to the Rays.
So they're just missing one guy, then, I guess.
Yeah, so then they're going to have to make a move to get a 5th guy because you need to have 5 guys on your roster. So it's going to be Yeager, the 3rd pick, the 6th pick, the 7th pick, and whoever else they trade for. Looking back on it, the beginning of the offseason where you get traded goes differently because maybe the Rays don't trade you if they know they're going to lose Eric.
Yeah, if they know they need at least one more person.
Or they probably re-sign Cole.
Yeah, and then still trade for the 3rd pick.
So maybe it's you, Yeager, and Cole plus the 3rd and 7th pick because it wouldn't have been the 6th because that was our pick that they got. Yeah. But the offseason could have looked very differently. And now, I don't want to say, and this isn't to, this isn't like a diss at the American League, but I feel like the American League is very wide open now.
Yeah.
With no Eric Scully and no Ryan Moser, our current teammate.
Yeah. So it's wide open in the AL. I think any of the teams have it. I think if I had to pick a team to come out of the AL, it would be the Houston Astros. I think so.
With no Moser?
I think they still get it done. I'm a big believer in Paul Sincata.
I like that. I also, it's tough because we had to trade Logan this offseason. Not something, I wanted to do, but in the end, he's now on the Astros, so I would like to see him succeed in Houston. I would be happy for him if they got back to the World Series.
Maybe see some Logan on the mound this year.
Logan on the mound would be entertaining. A former Cy Young. He won it with the Red Sox in season 8. So Logan's a former Cy Young. He can pitch on the mound. He did it for the Yankees, the Red Sox. Maybe we see him do it for the Astros. The Astros are in a weird spot because they don't have Ryan anymore, but now they have a lot of money.
Yes, a lot of money. So
and they also have no draft pick though.
Yeah,
they don't have a pick,
and
they need 2 more guys.
Yeah.
So do they trade for a draft pick? Do we see Charlie make more moves with that money? Maybe we see Paul or Logan get dealt. I don't think Paul would get dealt.
Yeah, maybe Logan for a better pitcher.
It's just tough because, what pitcher is he going to get that isn't a team captain? Maybe Ivins?
Yeah, maybe Ivins.
But then, would the Pirates trade Ivins after being a Cy Young finalist in his first year?
For Logan, maybe. I don't know. Braden might want Logan. You could flip Logan to the Brewers probably for something pretty good.
Well, we know Logan has connections with the guys on the Brew Crew, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Brewers went out and tried to make a move for Logan, which would be scary because the Brewers won the World Series last year against them in the NLCS. They beat them, and then they win the World Series. And then if they get Logan as well, watch out for the Brew Crew, which that's another team that I feel like people aren't talking about enough because you got to keep in mind, they swept the 2 best teams in the 2 best franchises in league history. And they go 5-0 in the postseason against the Dodgers and Rays. Their only 2 losses the whole year was a regular season sweep against the Dodgers. Those are the only games they lost all year. I mean, we're talking about one of the best teams of all time, the 2025.
Yeah, they really just dominated that postseason.
They dominated the postseason. They pretty much dominated the whole league. Yeah. They're the first team, and I'm not saying this to hype up the Dodgers. I'm more saying to hype up the Brewers. They're the first team to win the National League division against the Dodgers.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's
been
crazy.
Season 5 was the last time we didn't make the World Series.
Yeah, that's insane.
And they, beat us by giving up 1 run in total in the entire NLCS. So Joe Lemley is ridiculously good at wiffle ball. He had one of the best seasons ever, winning his first MVP and his first Cy Young. So now he's a Rookie of the Year winner, an MVP, a Cy Young, a 2-time Silver Slugger. And another name to talk about on the team is Chris Castano.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris had a great year. He was tied for the league lead in RBIs. He was an MVP finalist.
He played well in those playoffs for sure. He had a great run.
He was a huge part. Yeah. He had the game-winning home run in Game 2 against us, and then he had the walk-off in Game 1 of the World Series. And who knows, if Chris doesn't hit that walk-off home run in Game 1, maybe you guys, when you're on the Rays, you take Game 1, and then that whole series
that's a whole different series.
It's a whole different series.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see him, have a breakout season like that.
Yeah.
And then Joe having an all-time great season.
The best season ever made.
Yeah, one of the best seasons we've ever seen in MLWB history. So, and then Andrew was able to contribute as well by making these moves, and at the time he was also captain. Yeah. So he drafted Joe a few years ago, which you throw it back to 2023, that draft, there are some people that didn't think Joe Lemley should have been the first overall pick.
Yeah.
Clearly that was the right pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Then he trades for Castano last offseason, so he made some great moves, and then he gives the team to Joe Lemley, so probably one of the reasons was so he didn't have to use so many points to re-sign Joe, which is smart.
Yeah, good move by him, for sure.
It was a great team management, and of course, you can't forget Mr. Moles.
Yeah,
Julian. Only there for a few games, but when he was there, he contributed.
Yeah.
So, and now they trade for Corey Wassel this offseason. I think that's just going to make them a bit better.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how both divisions fold out, because the National League, I feel like, is like all 4 teams have a chance to win.
Yep.
And then the American League, it's all 4 teams have a chance to win. But now the best players in the American League are now in the National League, or they retired, or
it's a lot harder to predict.
It's very hard to predict. You said I was going to ask you who your sleeper team would be out of the American League. You told me
it's the Astros. Yeah.
I don't know who I want to pick. I think the Orioles are going to get a lot better. I'm not saying they're going to win the World Series.
They're one to look out for sure.
But they have the first overall pick, which is projected to be Benji Pabon.
Yeah.
And he's a very good player. Got to play with him in a tournament a few months ago. We ended up winning that tournament, the Northeast Wiffle Clash. We got the medal right here.
Yes, sir.
He was very good. He won a Silver Slugger in that tournament. He was the best player offensively for sure. So he was awesome. If he does get drafted to the Orioles, do we see the Orioles making the postseason in 2026?
I think they have a good chance for sure.
It's like we said, it's going to be tough because you have them, you have the Royals, who that's another team that lost a superstar. Dylan Wagner's going into the draft.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where does Dylan Wagner go?
Does he end up with his brother in Philly?
That's what some people are saying.
But I don't know if they want that, though.
Dylan was sort of traded Tyler on the Royals a few years ago.
Yeah,
so
I wonder.
Or would he pass on him because of that?
Yeah, who knows?
It's got to be going through his mind. Like,
it's got to be. Yeah, because I was a part of that trade.
Yeah,
he traded him to me.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. Yeah. So does Tyler draft his brother second overall?
Yeah, just to trade him? Maybe. Just to get back.
That would be really funny. That would be really funny.
Trades him
back. That would be great. But I'd be surprised if Tyler didn't take him, because then you'd have 3 Wagners on that team with Uncle Tom, Tyler.
That's crazy.
The whole bloodline on one team.
That team is either losing every game or
winning every game.
Yeah, there's no,
because we've never seen Tyler and Dylan play a game together. Because when Tyler was drafted by the Royals a few years ago, he was traded to the Nationals before he played a game.
Yeah.
So that makes you think, does Tyler draft his brother so they can have some success together in Philly?
And do they make it to the season?
Do they make it through the season without killing each other? I mean, one of the funny things about that was, I remember on draft night when Tyler was drafted to the Royals first overall, he said, this isn't going to be like a Shaq and Kobe kind of thing. Like, we're here to win a World Series. But then they didn't play a game together.
Yeah.
So do you give each other a second chance?
Yeah, I don't know. All of this has to be going through his head. It's
right.
It's gonna be a real interesting.
It's a tough decision.
Yeah, it's gonna be
because Dylan's a very good player, but we know Dylan and Tyler,
don't mix up.
They're twin brothers. They love each other, but sometimes
they butt heads.
Yes, exactly. So that's a good way to put it. But I think, like, if you don't take Dylan, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you take Pukala?
Yeah. Do you take? I guess he's the next. Who else
Cole
is
makes that team better too?
Yeah.
Because you have Halpin. They don't re-sign Dave Koch. They re-sign Uncle Tom. You have Tyler, and then maybe Cole.
Yeah, and then maybe Cole. Yeah.
So
it's not a bad team.
No, not at all. But
who else is in the draft? Either of the Vinnies? Are they?
No, both Vinnies got re-signed.
Oh, they both got re-signed.
Yeah, both Vinnies got re-signed. So we got some new names like Tommy Luciano, Anthony Ficcaro, Nick Gonzalez, all connections with Zach Kinsel. And the Royals have traded for them. That's another trade we have to talk about. John Rome to the Orioles.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's a pretty good trade. I like that for the Orioles.
It is a good trade. But the only thing that I don't want to say, like, I'm not judging because it's not like it was a bad, like, it's not like the Orioles have made any bad moves, but they have traded a lot of picks. They had 4 picks.
Yeah.
Now they only have, but it's the first overall pick, but they also have John Rome.
Yeah. They just got to make sure that the guys they have end up better than the rookies.
Yeah. Which is tough because there's also guys like, there's some good players in the draft like Sean House, who was on the Yankees last year, who didn't get re-signed to the Orioles because the Yankees rebranded to the Orioles, for anybody that's wondering what the heck is going on. But yeah, Sean House is in the draft. Logan Pozzard's in the draft. There are some good names in the draft. Dave Koch, yeah. I mean,
he's a sleeper in that draft for sure.
That's definitely a sleeper. I think there's 10 names in the draft, 8 draft picks. So 2 guys won't get drafted, and they'll then get signed to a team that needs a 5th guy. So I think we would agree Benji Pabone's the favorite to go 1.
Yep.
If we had to do a little mock draft right now, who would you have going 2 and 3?
And you got Dylan Wagner probably, then Cole Pucala
back to the Rays.
Back to the Rays.
And then the 4th pick is the Pirates. The Pirates need hitting. Yeah. Do they take Dave Koch?
Do they? They might. I don't know who else, because Braden doesn't really know any of Zach's friends.
Right.
And yeah,
because
he probably won't pick Possard again because he would have just re-signed him. Probably.
Right. So it makes you think. There's a lot to go over because now it's the last few years it's been like there's a different thing that happens that just shakes up the entire league.
Yeah.
Last year it was trades. that night where a bunch of people got traded like randomly in like March.
Yep.
Then this year it's Eric retiring.
Yep. Then Ryan getting traded.
Which is like crazy stuff.
Huge.
Probably the biggest trade ever.
Yeah.
Because Logan and Ryan are probably both top 10 players ever.
Yeah. The next biggest one was probably the 3-way trade with like me, Dylan.
The first ever trade.
Yeah, the first ever trade. That one was pretty big.
That was a big one. That was Dylan Lawyer to the Astros, you to the Nationals.
Yeah.
And then what else is in there? Chris Castano to the Yankees.
Yeah, that was the big one.
That was a big trade.
Those are some big names.
Trade. I think that was the first ever trade.
Yeah.
The first ever 3-team trade. And I don't know if
it might be the only one.
I don't know if there's been another 3-team trade. Yeah. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe if there's been another 3-team trade, someone comment down below that's watching us that's in the league. Maybe you can refresh my mind on that. I think it's just very tough to predict because everything kind of got shaken up. Ryan Moser's a Dodger. Eric Scully's not in the MLWB anymore, which breaks my heart.
That's insane.
But
that's still crazy to think about.
Yeah. And he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. We inducted him in the Hall of Fame during his last season, not knowing it was his last season. But it's crazy to think about because, like, I want to ask you this. Where do you rank Eric Scully all time?
Probably top 3, second or third, probably.
Yeah. I think he's definitely top 3.
Yeah,
I think he's definitely top 3.
I think second is where I have him.
Second?
Yeah.
I would say he's in the top 3 at least because I think you have Eric, you have Tyler, and you have Yeager.
Yeah.
And then I think Dylan Lawyer's up there too. I think he's.
What about yourself, buddy?
Well, yeah, but I think there's a lot of good names that.
Yeah, there are.
John Bond.
John Bond.
Yeah. Can't forget John Bond. Zach Porcello won a few MVPs back in the day.
MVP Charlie Jones.
Logan Gaffney's up there. Joe Lemley's gonna be up there.
Yeah, got a lot of good names.
It's fun to watch because there's so many guys that are now starting to break out and become like you can tell they're gonna be all-time greats. Like you can tell Joe Lemley's gonna be a top 5 player.
Yep. Ryan Moser.
Ryan Moser, he's already a top 10 player. He's only played like 3 seasons. So it's fun to look at. And I think, honestly, it's tough for me, like, because Eric only played 7 seasons.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. That's going to be his biggest problem because a lot of these guys are going to still keep playing, and you retired early.
Right. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe in 10 years we're still playing in this league and Eric comes back.
Yeah.
In Jersey. I don't know.
That'd
but
be crazy.
That would be awesome.
All-time comeback.
I mean, hey, Wagner's retired.
Start writing the script now.
Yeah. 2036.
Yep.
Eric Scully returns to the Rays.
There you go.
But I think it's tough because you have Yeager, who's played 12 seasons. You have Tyler, who's played 9.
Yeah.
And then Eric retired after 7. But the thing is, he only played 7 seasons, but there's only been 12 ever. So he's played more than half the seasons in league history.
Yeah,
so it's not like he's played 7 out of 50 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're telling me right now, if I had to pick a GOAT, I think I'd take Eric.
Yeah, probably. He's up there for sure.
You have 7 seasons, 5 MVPs, 4 World Series appearances, 1 World Series championship. That's insane.
That's pretty
5
good.
MVPs in 7 seasons.
Yeah, that's crazy
One in your rookie year, and then 1 in your last year.
Yeah.
And then 3 in a row in between.
Yeah, that's
nuts.
That's insane.
That's nuts. I think the one season he didn't win MVP in 2020 was the year the Rays didn't win a game, but he didn't show up to a few games, and it was like, okay, maybe like he's not going to stick around in the league. Yeah. And then he just wins like 4 more MVPs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the other year he didn't win MVP was the year Moser won in 2024, and he was runner-up. So it's not like, he had a bad year.
Yeah.
He never really had a bad season, which is crazy to think about. So if you ask me if I had to pick, because sometimes like Dylan or somebody else will ask me like, who do you think is the best player?
Yeah.
I've said Tyler. I've said Yeager. It might be Eric.
It might be.
Those are my top 3 in any order you want. But Eric is right there. He's for sure, without a doubt, in the conversation. And now it's like if you look at professional sports and you say like, oh, when this guy retires, he's going to be the GOAT. Eric just retired. So now you can kind of look back and you know everything he accomplished. So I maybe put him at number 1. I don't know.
I mean, you might have to until somebody else retires.
Yeah. Like
right now.
Like Yeager, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't think that's a spoiler. Same with Tyler. I know they're not Hall of Famers yet. They're going to be. I don't think that's a spoiler at all. I think that's obvious. Tyler's won 3 MVPs, 2 World Series championships. Yeager's won 2 World Series championships, an MVP, 2 Cy Youngs. I mean, there's only 2 guys to win more than 3 MVPs, and that's me and Eric.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
If like someone put Eric over me, I'm not going to be like mad about it. I think Eric was great. So I really think he was. And you look at that franchise he built up to.
Yeah.
Like before the Rays, I mean, there were really, before the Rays and Dodgers started having a lot of success, there were no teams that were like having success multiple years in a row.
And then, no dynasties.
And then,
he built a dynasty.
He really did. And that's another question. Would you call it a dynasty? Because they only won 1 championship, but they got there 4 times.
Yeah, I think you have to.
You think so?
Yeah, probably.
I'm not
in wiffle ball context. I think you have to.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially when there's no team in the American League that's ever won more than 1 championship. So they're the best American League franchise of all time, for sure.
Yeah.
And they're one of the best franchises ever in MLWB history. So I'm glad Yeager kept the name and kept the franchise and didn't.
Yeah, you can't get rid of the Rays.
You can't. What would the MLWB be without the Rays? That's like if you got rid of the Dodgers. Like you can't. You can't do that. That must have been pretty cool for you, like we mentioned before. Like you got to play with him in his last season.
Yeah.
I wish he did mention to me like halfway through the season. I was talking down at Advocare after a game one time, and he was like, I might not be able to play anymore because of like a job chip.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me also.
Yeah, but he was like, it probably won't happen. I'll probably still be able to play. But then things changed, of course. Yeah. Life happens, but no, he's no longer in the league, which stinks because he was also one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
Like,
he was fun to watch for sure.
It's funny because he's like a D1 track star. And he comes down to the wiffle ball field and he's like the most competitive guy out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's awesome. I think that's really awesome. But there's so much to go over that we went over in this episode, and I think there's probably going to be even more by next month. I mean, this isn't your first episode back as a Dodger, is it?
Is it?
Because I think it was you, me, and Nick after we traded for you.
That's right. We had one in between.
So you were on, yeah.
Yep.
You were on. The jersey came in.
Yeah, there you go.
Officially number 88 on the Dodgers. I remember last season, like last off season, it was the first episode after we traded you. I was like, Cody, I'm so sorry, but I did say you'll be back one day.
Yeah,
I was right.
You were right. There you go.
And I did say I won't trade you again this time unless, like, for some reason you wanted to be traded with.
No,
yeah,
I'm done. Trade me now.
Cody requested.
You heard it here first. I'm requesting a trade.
Cody is on the trade block. Cody's demanding a release.
I want to go back to the Rays.
Oh, shoot.
I'm taking over for Eric.
Yeah, Cody's going to be the captain.
I got to keep the dynasty going.
Yes. That was... it was also cool to have, like, obviously I wanted to be in the World Series as a Dodger, but it was cool to have something different.
Yeah.
And it was cool to be able to watch and, like, commentate the World Series because I had never really been able to do that before. It was a cool experience. Obviously, I'd rather be in it.
Yeah.
But...
Hey, this year.
This year. So obviously there's I know this isn't like a Dodgers podcast, but I think if we can touch on the topic a little bit of getting Ryan and stuff, I mean, I think last year our problem was we had a great team last year, and this is not a shot at the Brewers or the Rays or anybody else, but I think we were the best team, and at least on paper, and you look at that team, and there's no reason that team shouldn't have won a World Series. And it's very disappointing that we didn't. And you can't point fingers at anybody because everyone played well. It's just, as a team, we weren't good enough to win the whole thing. And it sucks because even years from now, you're going to be like, 2025 Dodgers were loaded.
Yeah.
But they didn't win at all.
Everybody just struggled to string hits together against Lemley. That's what it came down to. That's how all the teams lost. The Rays, we had one where it could have changed. Me and Cobles got on base and brought up Eric, and if Eric had hit like a single there, it would have brought me home, and that would have changed the series. But just couldn't string hits together. Yeah,
exactly, and that was our problem too. Logan had a great season. Lawyer had a great season. Nick had a great season. My dad had a great season. But like, there's just some things that like we weren't always on the same page, and I think our main problem was like, going into the season, we were like, okay, well, we have Dylan, James, and Logan, so
we have to win.
We're just gonna end up winning in the end. And I think we were a little overconfident, and it was like, obviously, I'm not glad we didn't win, but it was a good wake up call to say like, it doesn't matter who's on your roster if you're not playing like to the most of your potential, you're not gonna win.
Yeah,
and like that was not my best season. And I feel like I could have done better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a team, we just needed to be better overall. And, I wish we didn't have to trade Logan. I really enjoyed Logan in Dodger Blue, but I'm really excited about Ryan as well.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. The standard with the Dodgers is, we're here to win championships. We're not here to get to the NLCS and be like, okay, that was fun. Like, no, we want to win the World Series. So this will be your first season as a Dodger.
Oh.
Ryan's first season as a Dodger, year 2 in Dodger Blue for Frank, year 3 for Nick in Dodger Blue.
Yeah, that's crazy.
4 for Lawyer.
Dang, Lawyer's unk.
Yeah. So we this is it right here. We got to win the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
No less than that. But that'll be it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you guys next month. Cody, congratulations,
Thank you,
MVP. Add it to the resume, and hopefully a World Series champion by this time next year as well.
There we go.
So, thank you guys for watching. Cody, any last thoughts?
Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. It's funny because after every episode last year, you said go Rays.
Yeah, there you go.
Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
All right, so we will see you guys next month. See ya.